Stretch out the life of your fall harvest. Bottle now, save now, enjoy later, eat later. It takes just a few minutes for this method, this pickling method. Heather Smith from Orson Gygi is here to show us how, which you promised early on. We could all do this. It's easy, it's simple.
Yes.
We're not escaping the smell though.
No. Well,
hello, vinegar.
Vinegar, it's part of the preserving process. Food preservation is such a fun thing. I think sometimes it all gets lumped into one thing.
Yeah.
Canning, pickling, fermenting, and people get really intimidated by it. So I'm here to share just some quick refrigerated pickling ideas that everyone can do.
Well, I'm ready. Teach me. Teach me your ways.
Okay, so what you got to start with, like you said, the vinegar. We're going to use a couple different vinegars today. The first one, and we're going to show you how to pickle zucchini. Okay. I don't know about you, but I feel like all my neighbors, my friends, my family are like, hey, do you need any zucchini right now? And there's only so much zucchini bread you can eat.
Exactly.
Where you're like, okay, give me something else to do.
Exactly.
So here we're going to take some zucchini. We just sliced it with a mandolin. You can just cut it with a knife if you want, but you want to make sure that they're pretty uniform slices. So I love this. You just slice it away.
One. It almost has a slight curve to it.
Yes, and you can adjust the height, so it's super easy, but it gives you these perfect sliced zucchini that everything will be pickled the same. So if you got really thick ones in there, they may not absorb the flavors as much as the really thin ones, which would get super soggy. So it's nice to keep them all the same.
Now you're mixing zucchini and yellow squash here?
Yes.
Okay.
Just mostly for the color.
Yeah, pretty. It's the pretty factor.
They're gonna have the same type of texture, so they'll all kind of blend together. This is great mixed in with like a pasta salad or something else where you're gonna have those flavors already in there. Just throw it in there for an extra punch. It's good to just have on a cheese board too. Like just put it together. But here in our jar, we've got some garlic and bay leaves and peppercorn. And so then we just put that and we just layer your slices in there. And you kind of want to just throw them in there pretty...
How full?
Pretty tight, because we're going to shove them in there. And then in between every few layers, this is going to give you the same flavors as your regular cucumber pickles. So we've got some dill and then also some parsley. And I just kind of throw a few pieces in there. You can chop them up really fine if you don't like to see them, but I kind of like to see the texture in there. And then we just keep layering. Throw a few more in there.
Okay.
And then while we're doing that, we've already made it, but you'll want to do your vinegar solution. And so we've got olive oil, vinegar, some salt, and some sugar. I've got it here. You want it pretty warm as it goes through, and then after you're done layer, then you just pour that over there.
Pretty warm as it goes through, as it goes in?
As you're cooking it, as you pour it in.
Okay, yeah.
You want it not boiling, but warm enough. And then you'll just fill it up. And I like to tap it, kind of get those air bubbles out. As your jars are really full, you'll kind of see the air bubbles pop up, and then it gives a little more room. So you can shove some more veggies in there and get it as tight as can be. Then you'll throw the lid on it, and it's good in the fridge for a while. You have to remember that we're not canning today, so they're not shelf stable. You don't want to put this down in your fruit room or and go, oh, this will be great next year. No,
don't do that.
And I'll give you the times. Each of them have about a month or so, but this will kind of help extend it. So in case, especially if you have a lot, you're like, oh, what am I going to do with this?
And a month or so in the fridge.
In the fridge,
refrigerated.
Yep.
Okay, what's next?
Second is our Asian carrots. So these, we're going to slightly cook them. I cooked like a whole pound of carrots for like 3 or 4 minutes, just barely. Okay. So just enough to where it gets them soft, and then it allows them to put that in there, and then you julienne some ginger, put it all in a jar, and then with this one, you do just the rice vinegar with it. And so the other one, we just use the white distilled vinegar. This is a rice vinegar.
Is that about taste, or is that about...
It's just going to give you a little bit Asian flair to it. So we're doing some ginger. We're adding also some allspice and some cloves into it. So it just gives it a really yummy flavor.
And is it straight rice vinegar, or are you still mixing it with the olive oil?
Mixing it with the sugar, not olive oil with this one. Mixing with some sugar and then some salt as well.
Okay, and that's your liquid.
That up, yep. And then put that in there. Same technique that we did with the zucchini. Bottle it up, put it in your fridge.
Bottle, about a month.
Second is tomatoes, and I think one thing, or third is tomatoes. I think sometimes we, like, what am I going to do with all these extra tomatoes that we have? And so I've got some yummy grape tomatoes here. What you'll do is just put a skewer and just poke a hole through it.
Why are we doing that?
This is going to help get the flavors inside. This has got a pretty thick skin on it, and so sometimes the flavors won't always go, but it also keeps them from rising up. So it keeps everything to kind of stay down and get the flavor in there.
Right.
This one, we're going to use apple cider vinegar, which I don't know if you, but I feel like that's been such the rage lately.
It is a popular thing, isn't it?
It gives you something else to do, so you don't have to take that shot in the morning.
Which I don't anyway, but okay.
But put that in there, some peppers, and then here's the same type of thing, some vinegar, salt, sugar. We heated that up, and then pour that in. Fill your jar up. I didn't fill it all the way up today, but fill that up, put your lid on it, and again, throw it in the fridge.
And liquid, I mean, I know we're just kind of demonstrating here, but liquid would go to the top.
Yep, you want to do it, yep, because you want to tap it down, get all those air bubbles. You don't want air bubbles in it.
Okay, what's happening here?
Last is something really fun and unique is pickled peaches.
What?
And so I know we did peaches once before,
Pickled peaches?
One of my favorites. It gives it a really unique flavor to it. You're going to use the rice vinegar again. You also use maple syrup, some yummy sugar.
The syrup was in the jar?
So we heat it up over the stove.
Okay.
So we've got cinnamon, nutmeg, maple syrup, and then the rice vinegar. Heat that up. Now this is the one you want to make sure you do not boil, because you're going to put it into your peaches. If you put the solution too hot into it, it's going to start cooking those peaches.
Okay.
And then those get more like a mush or a jam or something like that.
We don't want that.
So I heat it up, and then I actually just let it sit for a while.
How do you serve them?
So I've got it over here with some brie cheese, some crackers. It's really good, again, with like a cheese board or just with some yummy meats, but it's so yummy.
Really?
Yes.
Can I?
Please do.
Can I, please? I'm reaching. Oh, you have a cracker.
I've got one just for you, yes. But it's got some ginger in the jar as well, so it's some little Asian flavors as well.
Oh my gosh.
It's good, huh?
It's totally surprising, and it's totally good.
And the cinnamon in there kind of gives it a little kick to where you're like, okay, this is good.
What cheese was that, brie?
That's brie, yeah.
I love it.
Yummy.
You know what, while we're on the subject of peaches and while I'm just raving about your delicious recipes, the peach basil mozzarella salad you showed us last time you were here, I probably made it 6 times.
Oh,
I'm not even kidding,
oh,
since I saw you last, which is what, a month ago?
Yes.
6 times. It's a crowd pleaser for sure.
Go do it.
So you'll have that recipe if you want to revisit it from Heather last month using the peaches, the fresh peaches, and you'll have all of these recipes on our website, studio5.ksl.com, and a lot of fun things I know coming up at Orson.
Yes, lots of great classes coming up. We've got sourdough breads and all sorts of fun things coming.
So your fall schedule's online?
Yes.
All right, it's good to have you as always. Thank you so much. That is so good.